The New Orleans Pelicans leave the Bayou and travel to the Lone Star State to take on the Dallas Mavericks. I'll tell you how to bet this game right now. Good Friday, everybody, and welcome to the Jungle. We'll talk about what you need to know to bet the game between the Pelicans and the Mavericks. I'll tell you what I'm cold on, what I'm warm on, and what I'm hot on. Cold means it's something I wouldn't touch. Warm means it's something I like a lot. And hot means it's something that I believe is the best bet in this game. And Jungle members and I have already placed a bet on it. If you like the content in the video and like what we're doing here, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Goes a long way in helping me grow the Jungle. And if you'd like to become a member, you can do that at silverbackjungle.com. Click Become a Jungle Member or text that number on your screen. Here's what you get. My full betting card text to your phone every single morning. Access to our members-only Discord and a direct line to me if you'd like me to opine and any other game that you are considering betting. We have a free weekly trial. Take it for a test spin and see if it's for you. So New Orleans is catching 5.5 points here, and the over-under is at 237.5. Pardon me. New Orleans comes in last in the Western Conference. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. And Dallas is 8th in the Western Conference. They've won 6 of their last 10 games. Dallas's front court decimated by injury. Anthony Davis out, as we know. Derek Lively out. Daniel Gafford out. And P.J. Washington, that leaves him at the 5 to play the 5 position. He's questionable. He's a game-time decision, in fact. Now, he probably will play, but won't be 100%. And I think that's going to hinder their defense even more so. The cornerstone of their defense, that front court that they built, is going to struggle tonight. Zion Williamson of the Pelicans is one of the toughest guys when he plays to defend inside the paint. And he's finally as healthy as he's been in a while. He's played in New Orleans in 7 of their last 8 games. And the game he hasn't played, it wasn't because he's injured. It was just a scheduled rest. In those last 8 games, the Pelicans are 8th in points per game in scoring since Zion has been healthy in the entire NBA. Zion leading the way with 27 points a game. Now, I think they're going to look to feed Zion inside all game and Yves Missi and really exploit, that Dallas front court. Because I keep talking about, but there's so many holes there with those 4 guys, 3 guys out and 1 guy hobbled. Because of that, I think that their perimeter game, their three-point game, isn't going to be needed as much as usual. So I'm cold on C.J. McCollum over points. Now, that doesn't mean that I think he's going to have a bad game. I think he'll have a good game as a facilitator and probably hit that 20-point mark. But in his line of 21.5, 22.5 on some books, I don't think McCollum is going to get there. Zion Williamson's points line sitting at over 24.5, and I do think he's going to get that. I think rather easily, in fact. I'm warm on Zion today, over 24.5 points because of that mismatch. When you look at this Pelicans team, you really can't handicap them as a last-place Western Conference team. With this lineup that they're going to put out there today, they've just added Bruce Brown the last couple games from Toronto. He adds a veteran presence along with C.J. McCollum. That leaves the starting 5. Bruce is coming off the bench. That leaves the starting 5 with Zion, McCollum, Yves Missi, Trey Murphy III, and Jose Alvarado, who's been really good lately. 18 points in his last 2 games, respectively, 18 and 18. This is a team that's going to be tough for Dallas to contend with the lack of depth, the lack of bench, and the lack of defense that they're going to have. Frankly, they're going to rely heavily on Kyrie Irving, and I think that New Orleans can go blow for blow with them. We just saw them take the Kings to overtime. Scored 137 points in that game, last game before the All-Star break. It's going to be tough for Dallas to handle them. Now, there's a saying in sports betting, only take the underdog with the points if you think they can win the game outright. Well, I do think the Pelicans can win this game outright, but I'm happy to take the 5.5 points. I think it's too many. I'm hot in the Pelicans today, plus the 5.5. Let me know in the comments if you're going to ride with me, and I'll see you tomorrow with a little more money in your pocket.